Somewhere in a cave in South Africa, a person mixed red pigment with animal fat and rubbed it onto their skin. That happened 100,000 years ago. Humans have been painting their faces for longer than we've had language, longer than we've had farming, longer than almost anything else you'd call civilization. Most people assume makeup is a modern invention, or at best something ancient Egyptians came up with a few thousand years ago. The real timeline goes back much further. And here's the part that makes this genuinely strange. The reason humans do it hasn't stayed the same at all. It's flipped completely, more than once. And every generation that flipped it was convinced their version was the obvious one. Let's start at the beginning. At a site called Blombos Cave on the southern coast of South Africa, archaeologists found small shell containers with traces of red ochre pigment mixed with animal fat, dated to around 100,000 years ago. This wasn't an accident or a stain. It was a processing kit, deliberately made and used. So why would anyone do this early, before farming, before permanent homes, before anything we'd recognize as organized society? Anthropologists believe the answer has almost nothing to do with beauty as we think of it today. Ochre marking is widely believed to have functioned as a symbol, a way to show which group you belong to, a signal of status, possibly part of early ritual or spiritual practice. In a world with no written language, marking your body was one of the only ways to say something permanent about who you were. This wasn't vanity, it was communication. Fast forward tens of thousands of years, and the purpose shifts again in ancient Egypt. Egyptians wore thick black kohl eyeliner, and for a long time, historians assumed this was purely decorative. It wasn't, or at least not only that. Kohl, made from ground minerals like galena, genuinely reduced glare from the desert sun, functioning almost like ancient sunglasses. But it didn't stop there. Egyptians also believed the eye held spiritual significance, and wearing kohl was thought to protect against the evil eye and certain diseases. Practical sun protection and genuine religious belief fused together so completely that nobody at the time would have separated the two ideas at all. Then the reason shifts again, into ancient Rome and Greece, and this time it becomes something closer to what we'd recognize today. Pale skin became a status symbol, because pale skin meant you didn't have to work outside in the fields. Wealthy Roman and Greek women used lead-based powders to whiten their faces, and yes, this is exactly as dangerous as it sounds. Lead poisoning from cosmetics was a real documented problem, causing skin damage, hair loss, and worse, all in pursuit of looking like you belong to a class of people who never had to labor under open sky. So by this point, makeup has already meant tribal identity, then spiritual and sun protection, then social class. 3 completely different reasons, 3 completely different eras, and each one felt like the obvious permanent truth to the people living through it. Then something strange happens. The reason doesn't just shift again, it reverses entirely. In medieval Europe, wearing makeup became associated with sin, deception, and moral corruption. Religious authorities argued that altering your God-given face was an act of vanity bordering on blasphemy. Women who wore visible cosmetics risked being labeled immoral, and in certain periods were even accused of witchcraft. The exact same act, coloring your face, had gone from spiritual protection in Egypt to spiritual danger in Europe within the span of a few thousand years. And here's what nobody really talks about. This flip-flopping didn't stop in the medieval period. It kept happening, right up into recent history. By the Victorian-era, makeup had swung back toward taboo, but for a different reason. Visible cosmetics became associated specifically with actresses and sex workers, professions considered scandalous at the time. Respectable women were expected to appear naturally beautiful, through diet, posture, and subtle grooming. Anything except obvious, visible makeup. The stigma was so strong that many women who did wear cosmetics applied them secretly, specifically to maintain the appearance of not wearing any at all. Then, in the early 20th century, the reason flips one more time, and this flip built the modern industry you recognize today. The rise of Hollywood, combined with aggressive advertising from newly formed cosmetics companies, transformed makeup from a private shame into a public, glamorous form of self-expression. Actresses on screen normalized visible cosmetics on a massive scale, and companies spent enormous sums convincing ordinary women it wasn't sinful at all. It was aspirational. It was modern. For the first time in centuries, it was something to be proud of, rather than something to hide. And here's the part that might be happening again, right now, too close for most people to notice clearly. Researchers studying social media and beauty filters have started asking whether the reason is shifting one more time. Filters let people present a face that isn't fully real, adjusted and smoothed in ways no physical cosmetic ever could. Some psychologists studying this shift have raised concerns about a kind of pressure that's different from anything in earlier eras. Not simply wanting to look good, but constantly comparing your unfiltered face to an edited, idealized version that technically doesn't exist anywhere in the physical world. If that's a real shift, the 7th reason in this history isn't really about the face at all. It's about the gap between your actual face and a digital one, a problem no cave painter or Egyptian priest ever had to think about. So here's the strange thing sitting underneath all of this history. Every single era, from the cave in South Africa to a Hollywood film set to a phone screen with a filter turned on, felt completely certain about their reason for painting their face. Nobody thought of themselves as arbitrary or temporary. Each one believed their version was simply how things were, how things always should be. But the actual reasons kept changing entirely. Tribal signal, sun protection fused with spiritual belief, social class, moral danger, scandalous secrecy, glamorous self-expression, and now, possibly, the gap between a real face and an edited one. 7 almost completely different explanations layered on top of the exact same basic human behavior, stretching back 100,000 years. Which raises an uncomfortable question about whatever reason feels obvious to you right now. Maybe it doesn't feel arbitrary. That's exactly how every person before you felt too, right up until the reason quietly changed underneath them, and a new explanation took its place, feeling just as permanent as the one it replaced. Humans have been marking their faces for 100,000 years. The pigment barely changed. The reason never stopped moving.